A little bit though.
The Sharks have a 3-0 lead and it falls apart. We'll break this one down. You'll probably want to yell at me for why my audio sucks, but we'll get into that more right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is January 29th, 2026. The Sharks lose tragically 4-3 in overtime to the Edmonton Oilers. We welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks post-game show. We do this after every game. So if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world and in Sharks territory on the YouTube page and the app. You can always follow us on the social. Thank you, Felix, for hitting us up with the gifts on Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky. You can always find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the pod, please do so on Venmo at tealtownusa or with the live super chat donation in the super chat. And with that, I say good evening to you, Tyler. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing worse than I was about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guess what? So am I.
Yeah, there was such wonderful jubilation in like that first period. Carolina came from behind when I missed the third period, and the Sharks were up 3-0. Man, what a difference 40 minutes makes.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah,
45 minutes.
This is just frustrating. Oh, cool! I didn't even update the banners. This is, we're having a blast here tonight, folks. Yeah, big time. My apologies for all of this shit that's going on because this program that we have continues to be frustrating indeed. But they got out to such a great start, Tyler. It it sucks. There's going to be a lot of questions on whether or not you go with two defensemen in overtime, but this one's just a frustrating one. One I thought when they started getting on their run here. I mean, like what we got 26 seconds into the game. Uh, Colin Graff finds an open net, and you're like, oh my god. This team has lost 6 in a row to the Edmonton Oilers. You're thinking, okay, looking good. And then a minute 9 later, you have Gaudette, with a beautiful steal from Eklund. He feeds it to Gaudette with a beautiful move. I mean, you were obviously thinking, holy crap, this looks good.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was no complaints coming out of the play of the first period. They were playing the Oilers hard. They were playing them fast. And, it really showed on the scoreboard. We were only like separated by like, I think it was like 3 or 4 shots. I can't remember exactly. I can look that up real quick. 8-12 for shots in the first. I'm pretty sure we had basically every scoring chance in the first. But then it's something else that's happened before. It was just last game. We got most of our points in the first period, and then we kind of coasted on that for a while. And this time it really bit us because this is a strong offensive team, and unfortunately, over time, they were able to get past our defense. I might have to be solo casting this for a little bit because I think Eric is still trying to do his troubleshooting. But
trying and failing, but that is how it is on this night. I know, like what was it in? I know, looking in the chat, it's just saying, celebrating 71-17, saying You know, 3-0 going to the third period with 5 minutes play. Come on, bro. It's not that dramatic. It's not dramatic. When you allow 3 goals in 5 minutes,
Well,
it's a little dramatic. It's just frustrating to
to be
see.
fair, it was not 3-0 with 5 minutes left. They
It was
scored.
3-1.
It was 3-1. They scored a minute and 30 into the third, but they did let 5 goals in or 3 goals in 5 minutes. That is true.
JL 7826 saying Warsaw playing matchup games to start over D, and you just can't do that against players like 9729. And honestly, Tyler, I thought they shut down McDavid pretty nicely tonight up until late in the game.
I think he was playing the numbers. I mean, let's just look at the faceoff percentages. The NHL had it as 40% to the Sharks and 60 to the Oilers. And we were talking about this on the Discord of, well, I mean, between McDavid and Celebrini, McDavid is the better faceoff player. And did we want to go more defensive or more offensive to start? And he chose defensive. And it kind of worked until an ungodly turnover on the blue line.
Right. And that's the tough part. You will continue on with the recap here with Misa getting, with the rush down. I thought it might have gone over to Eklund, but it went off of Bouchard. Key factor in that one. Dickinson and Liljegren with that at 11:40. All of a sudden, it's 3-0, and things are looking good. I thought Askey had played fantastic tonight. Um, and making some crazy saves, even punching it out of
Mhm.
the zone when the Sharks were getting hemmed in their zone.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about for Askey's play. You're gonna say, "Oh, you want to save." I know that second goal from McDavid was a beautiful shot. That you give McDavid time, it doesn't matter who the goalie is. You're gonna see those shots go in. We see it with every 31 teams in the NHL. And I mean the let's see, goal, Draisaitl, goal, McDavid, goal, Bouchard. Those are names familiar on the Edmonton scoring list.
Yeah, and it was just be a little bit of a nightmare. A minute 34, Draisaitl gets it going with from Bouchard and Kapanen. Nice little shot, gets through. Like, he taps it in. It just squeaks through Askarov, and he's probably hating it right there. Makes it 3-1 with the goalie pull. McDavid does McDavid things. A snapper that gets through traffic. 3:05 to go, and you're like, shite. Ugh. You know, um,
And that's what happens when you're playing on your heels. I mean, we played 2 periods of no offense, really. I can't remember really anything from the second working either. It was quite rough for the second 2/3 of those games, or that game.
right. And then Bouchard, or as they say up in Edmonton, a Bouch bomb, just as the time was going under a minute left to go in the period. It just, I don't want to say it was coming, but you definitely all of a sudden got nervous
Oh yeah.
in there.
No, they had all the momentum leading into those last 5 minutes. Pretty much the instant they pulled the goalie, I don't think San Jose really touched the puck after that. And you can't play, 4 minutes of defense against Edmonton and expect them not to score. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. Goal at 16:55, goal at 19:01.
Yeah. And then the overtime winner just a minute 6 into the extra session. It's a tough one because LA lost, Utah lost. Um, I know Toronto is going back and forth with Seattle would be a big one. They do get the point, but
Mhm.
ugh, that
Yeah,
sucks, dude.
this game would have been huge. I mean, this was another talking point before the game began. First 3-game win streak for Edmonton this year. They've really been struggling to put it together for consecutive games, and I mean, it showed in the first. I mean, the Sharks were dominant, but rearing the ugly head of bad third period effort.
Right, and the tough part is that you get off to a good start again for the third straight game. And you looked really good against the Rangers, shut them down. You look really good against the Canucks, shut them down. Obviously, it's a little different with McDavid and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins and company, of course. It goes to show that you just can't let up. You have to keep the foot. I'm
Mhm.
going to bring out the cliches. You can't, keep the pedal to the metal. You got to keep going for it. But Edmonton just really just worked their way and got the Sharks to be a little more tired. Especially at the end of the second period where Toffoli had and company had like well over
Mhm.
2 minute shifts near the end of the second. You felt like okay, something's come. They're brewing it right now, and that sucks.
Yeah, and I think this is really just the difference between teams that have been here. I mean, San Jose is basically just a younger version of Edmonton right now, of a lot of offensive potential, but really struggling on defense. But Edmonton's been here; they've been to the playoffs. They can battle through a game, and the Sharks are a younger team, and I think that was really kind of showing up today.
Yeah, and there are times where this team is going to have their hiccups.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to, but it just
Well, and let's be honest, this is like the first blown lead we've had in quite some time.
right. I mean, this one hurts because it would be if they pull us out, it's a huge win. If
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's tough. You
Yeah,
know,
would somebody in chat be able to find us the last time the Sharks lost a 2 goal lead in the third?
and that's the other thing too, my friend. Tonight is the first time. Well, no, it's the second
A
time
3 goal lead.
they've blown a third period lead and lost in
Mm-hmm.
overtime. They haven't lost it in regulation yet. So you have that going for them, but still, it's just frustrating. I mean, they've made so many great strides. Yes, they get the point, so
Mm-hmm.
that helps. Um,
Yeah, and I know I see some people are mentioning Sherwood in the chat right now, and there was people that brought up, we could maybe we don't know the status of Sherwood exactly right now, but people have brought up that we could have brought Sherwood in if that was an option. I know that I think it was Jules was saying how it's like we're not going to throw him in his first game against the Edmonton Oilers. We got Calgary. I would not expect, or if he's healthy, I would not be surprised if we see him in next game. But I do understand you're not going to throw a guy's first game against one of the hardest teams in your division.
I get that, but why are we afraid of Edmonton?
I don't know.
You know what
I thought
you know what I mean when I say that though. I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody or upset anybody, but you know when you put some slow breathing steps. Say, open the mindfulness app to try some guided breathing. How convenient.
well, you know what? After a game like this, maybe we all do need to take some time to breathe and really get
Yeah.
the heart rate
Right.
down.
Right. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Let me go through the comments here. Apologies for everything tonight. This program is being a pain in the butt, and it's frustrating right now. So my sincere apologies on this. Uh, but
Um,
let's see. Let Ned play the Flames in ASCII versus Chicago. I'm curious as to what goes on here now because you know.
and I know somebody else brought up because I don't think we've covered overtime, what happened in overtime yet, other than just brief
Well, I
mention.
mean, yeah, I mean, you have Lil Jagrin. Ferraro, and
Godet, I
and
believe.
and no, and Ferraro.
I thought it was Godet, Ferraro, and Liljegren.
No, it was Wenberg. Excuse me,
Was it Wenberg? Oh, okay.
Wenberg. Yeah, which I get, and Wenberg had a great game too.
Mhm.
I mean, he was looking good because it's like so. Looking at the chat, we're afraid of the Oilers because of McDavid's 92 points. I get respecting it, but at the same time, it's like, why not go offense on offense in that sense? I guess trying to kind of counteract the start with McDavid and Draisaitl in there, and of course it's McDavid to Hyman who gets the job done. Um, Yeah, Snack Attack saying Sharks last blew a 2-goal lead in a 7-6 OT loss to the Ducks. Oh, yes. So probably I think that was the other overtime loss that they had a third period lead and blew it. Yeah, like the
Mhm.
second game of the season against Anaheim.
But yeah, it's a rough loss. I'm not going to deny it, but
Yeah.
again, what have we been saying so long on this podcast for the majority of this year at least is we're playing with house money. Are we
Right.
truly surprised the Sharks lost against a team that's been in the last two Stanley Cup finals? Are we that surprised? No, not really. Are we disappointed? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And here's the good thing about it, too. If you talk about the 3 games that the Sharks have played against the participants in the Cup final,
Mm-hmm.
they got 5 out of 6 points.
Yeah.
So if you're going to look at it that way, that's one way to look at it, and then you get a point. It just sucks because that 1 point just hurts, and especially now that we're slowly getting close to that 2/3 mark in the season, and I think they'll hit it like a little bit afterwards. Um, it's concerning indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Well, and I do feel the need to. I don't know why we're really throwing Warsaw under the bus, but for the OT, it did work. Let's not mistake that we got control of the puck. We blocked them from getting clean shots. We got the puck from
right.
behind the net. We controlled it, and then we turned over before we could get anybody to the bench. Coach doesn't control that.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, this is a tough one to figure out. Where do you go with your goalies? Because Askarov, I thought, played fantastic tonight. 875 save percentage
Yep.
just sucks. And I don't want to say nothing against him, but that's frustrating indeed to have 3 goals in like the last 4 or 5 minutes left, and the defense gets into trouble with it.
Yeah.
That being said, obviously defense maybe should be
Yeah.
looked at if you're going to make any other moves before the Olympics or at the trade deadline. Um, that might be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, I don't see why Panarin would want to come here, and I don't think we should be paying him that much money for him to
Mm-hmm.
come here. But then that might be my COVID cat brain doing it. But
Yeah. There there are much higher expectations at this point in the season than we had at the beginning of the season, and there's a lot of questions that we're kind of asking now that we were not asking at the beginning of the season.
right,
Like, let's be honest, we were like, we just need defensive bodies just to be on the roster because let's be honest, we have no expectations this year, and now here we are, and we're like, why are we trusting these guys on defense? Well, that's because we needed guys on defense. What else do we have?
a couple of things coming from the Sharks locker room saying Toffoli left during the game because of an illness. According to Sheng, a few of the guys are going through that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the cold season, I guess. And if you've been around the last few weeks, you know I've been dealing with it. Sharkaholic, thank you for the super chat, $5 super chat. Appreciate keep the lights on, by the way. Thank you for the frames. I should go grab the frames while I have them here. Um, he was terrific with his 3D printer and sent me a boatload of stuff. So I thank you for that. Sharkaholic 12 saying, surprised we didn't get scored once in the first two periods. And that's, and I think you can, if you're looking for positives, Tyler, you can see that. I mean, outside that Draisaitl goal, you shut down
Yeah.
the big guys from Edmonton for I mean, one goal on in 57, nearly 57 minutes. I mean, it's nice. It just sucks that it ends up being the result that we do not want. So,
Yeah. I think the bigger factor that's going to come of this game is what happens next game. Because all right, we might be angry with Warsaw, we might be angry with the defense, we might be, whomever you are angry with. It's going to be all right, what's the answer then? We blew a third period lead, we lost 3 goals in the third period, lost in overtime. What's our response? Are we going to come out sluggish because, we lost a game like we did at the beginning of the season, blew a lead, didn't win 5 games after that? It was brutal hockey. It looked the exact same as last year. They finally got a win and everything changed. Are we going to get the first 6 game Sharks, or are we going to get the, come back, get a win, get back on track Sharks? And that's going to be, what we're seeing in the next game.
absolutely. I mean, and you're going up against um, Calgary. Um, so you're going to get either Dustin Wolf or Ian's favorite, Devin Cooley. But that's a game that, again, they should win uh, before you head out to Chicago and then finish up the pre Olympic schedule against Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Calgary, Chicago, no disrespect, uh, winnable games. I think easily winnable games.
Yeah. I mean, uh, our record even against the Avs hasn't been awful. Um, no, I mean, I don't. There's not really been a team at all this year that I've been truly afraid of playing. Obviously the Avs are going to certainly be the hardest guys that we have to face this year, but we've still played them well.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the good thing about it. Yeah, I think you got dominated in that one game in Colorado, but you played them very well in San Jose back in November. But yeah, like Sun Devil 1027 saying, Colorado is not easy. Granted, they got dominated by Montreal tonight. That's what you get for wearing the Quebec Nordiques jerseys in Quebec. So,
Oh, and I'm sure that the Colorado podcasters are sounding a lot like us tonight.
oh yeah, and probably the scary thing too is that they're thinking, oh crap, we're kind of losing a little bit, but maybe adversity is good for them. Thomas, and for the Sharks for that matter. Thomas Cherry with the 4.99 super chat. Choking can't be excused, but refing that atrocious and also ridiculous elbow with a no call. Miss cross check was throw up in my mouth worthy. What did you think of the officiating tonight? I thought it wasn't horrible, but even Celebrini kind of was trying to get them. It's like, no, I was just trying. It was just a thing I was just trying to get out of the way for it, but they ended up kept calling for it.
And according to the rule book, that's what you're supposed to do. They thought there was a high stick. They raised their arm. I know there's been a couple of games in the past where players gone, oh no, they didn't high stick me, and they've called it off. But by the rule book, once you raise your arm, you call the penalty. That's just kind of whatever. I didn't find the refereeing that egregious today. A couple of calls that you probably should have had. A little bit questionable on the goaltender interference, but also again, you kind of understand it.
What did you think of it on that call? Because I think Ostapchuk was trying to get out of the way, but
It's hard because a goalie wasn't fully in his crease, and I don't think Ostapchuk ever went into the crease. Second, Ostapchuk touched the puck. He actually was in contact with the puck before he made contact with the goalie. And finally, what prevented the goalie from making the save is he didn't know where the puck was. Ostapchuk wasn't in contact when the goal was scored. He lost track of the puck, but I understand they're going to say he lost track of the puck because of the contact, and because the contact, maybe he could have gloved the save or something like that. That maybe there wouldn't have been the rebound without the contact. It's at this point I can never guarantee exactly what is goaltender interference and what is not. But
right.
in the end, that should not have been the straw that broke the camel's back. We were already up 3 goals. It should not have mattered.
No, you're right. It shouldn't have mattered. In my biggest thing in my slogan, and I'm sure the Sharks will love to use this, but um, you know, keep chomping. It's just your Sharks. Just keep going with it. And I know that's easier said than done. And
Yeah.
so, but and there's some people saying, Chester Chivo, good to see you, bud. I haven't seen you here in a bit. Good to see you, my friend. I get why Warsaw didn't challenge, but I bet he wishes he did. Now, yeah, it's tough.
Can you
But
challenge for that?
you can, I mean, you can challenge the reversal of a goaltender interference call.
But it wasn't a reversal.
No,
Call
but
of the ice was no goal.
reverse that it wasn't goaltender interference. So
I'm still so unclear about exactly what you can and cannot challenge.
Yeah, and Steve Rector saying you risk it if you lose the challenge, you give the best power play a chance at home to get back in. I get it.
Yeah, and
Maybe
the likelihood is the NHL probably would have just said inconclusive. We're going to stick with the call. If it was a goal on the ice, maybe you challenge it, but the call was no goal, so it needs to be conclusive that it is a goal. And I think you're
right.
going to lose that challenge then.
Yeah, yeah. And like Seaglaze is saying, and Seaglaze, I think you're new in here, so welcome. Glad to have you with us. I think it should have been ruled a goal, then give Edmonton the chance to review and challenge. The contact wasn't egregious enough to warrant a no call on the ice. 3-0 dictates that call.
Yeah. But again, let's not cry over the fact that we got a goal called back. We were up 3-0.
Yeah.
This really
And
is on the fact that we were stuck in our zone for the majority of 2 periods. Askarov can play a fantastic game. This is Edmonton. They will score.
yeah, not a matter of if, but a matter of when. And again, full kudos to Askey for it. I know he's in pain with the loss. I'm trying to look at some of the quotes that are coming in.
Oh, also, let's talk about the fact that he also got hit in this game, and it was a pretty decent hit.
Yeah, I mean, Ostapchuk goes down. What was it? Who was the penalty on for that one? I'm trying to.
Oh, it was a hook on a stop chuck and a interference on.
It was. I'm trying to look it up here. Lazar had interference on Ostapchuk after Ostapchuk hooked Frederick
And yeah, Ostapchuk lands kind of on the
his
upper
head.
back of Askarov, and he was a little bit slow to get up. I mean, he still soldiered on for, I think that was in the first, so another full period with nothing, but there was a little bit of worry. I hope that didn't affect his game, and I really hope I'm sure they're going to check him out, but
Yeah.
I hope nothing comes of that. But we'll definitely keep an eye on that because yeah, that was definitely a worry when we were watching the game.
Right, and to see how he was, and he seemed like he was fine. I mean, he definitely wanted to freak us all out, and he wanted to play the puck. I mean, um, But yeah, just that one, yeah, that one was a little bit of a concern, and hopefully he's okay. They get a day off, and it's just a quick drive down to Calgary for the game on Saturday afternoon. That's a 1 p.m. start locally here in the Bay Area. Hockey Day in Canada, I believe it is. So, absolute coverage all over the place for if you're in the Great White North. And speaking of the Great White North, shout out Ian as it scrolls down right now. 30 days. We're about a month away from Ian Reed being in San Jose for the first time. We can't wait. We hope you are looking forward to having Ian join us as well. So, some of the comments that are coming from the locker room, if you don't mind me touching up on that.
Absolutely, go for it.
Uh, and thanks to Shane, Curtis, and Max for all this. Appreciate you guys. Warsofsky says starting Liljic and Ferraro in OT was a hope to win the puck back defensively, which worked until it didn't, and then get celebrating out on the attack in overtime.
We see these tactics a lot with other teams. Again, I talk about Carolina on here because, hey, that's where I live. And that's a tactic I know they do all the time. Jordan Stahl, still a fantastic face-off guy, but he is not their OT player. So yeah, it's a strategy that I think is becoming a little more common in the NHL.
Yeah,
And yeah, like you said, it was working until it wasn't. We got control and then we coughed it up. Gotta work on those turnovers.
right, right. Um, so yeah. From Max Warsofsky starting 2D and over. Wanted to try to shut down Drysdale and McDavid, and those guys were doing a pretty good job all night. We get the puck and we get what we want, but then we turn it over. That's a tough one. Warsaw would continue on with. I thought we got on pucks, our forecheck, our pressure, something that I thought we did a pretty good job of. Again, we controlled the game through the second period. Even the first goal we gave up, that shot was going wide, but it hits Orlov, so bounces.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course 6-on-5 was obviously not good enough. That's something we'll look at. There's moments in the third where we need to continue to make plays and push forward, and we didn't do enough of that. And that goes back to what it was like: you stay hungry, keep chopping, in that effect. And I think it was like 10-3 of the shots in the third period for Edmonton. um,
Yeah, I think it was actually even more lopsided than that. No, you're right. It was 10-3.
yeah, it felt like it though. I mean, let's
It
be honest,
really
it
did.
felt like that.
I mean, shout out to the 16 block shots. We actually doubled the amount of block shots that Edmonton had. So there's at least that. But then we look at other stats and they're not as nice. Like we probably needed to be a little bit harder on the body. And I know that was something that we also talked about on the Discord was at one point we sent out the fourth line against McDavid just because putting bodies on them was able to disrupt their play. But we only had 17 hits to their 24. And also, I know somebody asked in the chat, it was 40% faceoffs to 60% for the Oilers.
Yeah, and that one not acceptable. And I'm sure there are many who remember how dominant Scotty Nickel and Manny Malhotra were for years, for that 1 year in San Jose. They need to find a way to get better on that because it just was just rough.
Yeah, I think that's probably got to be one of the biggest things that the Sharks are going to have to work on over the off season is getting our centers to be a lot better at the faceoff.
And it may not even be getting them to the off season. I think it might have to be now. And another thing in John Mavrudis, I apologize to get that wrong. Celebrating was gas at the end of regulation. Totally understand him not starting OT, and that's the thing. Usually, you don't see like forwards playing 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Celebrini played nearly 23. Colin Graff over 20 minutes. Alex Wenberg 21:10. Will Smith 19:45. Um,
Yeah, there's not a lot of offensemen that lead a team in time on ice on
yeah,
basically any team.
yeah. So we shall see. Ducks down 1-0 again. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
love to
just
hear that.
that's great. I know Seattle's in a battle with Toronto right now. Toronto, if they can pull that off, it'd be a great night for the Sharks, even if they only get the point. Uh, which it could have been two, would have been nice. Could have taken over a third spot from Anaheim, but
Mm-hmm.
that's for naught. So it is what it is. I mean, let's see if Sherwood comes in on Saturday against Calgary. Uh,
Where do you
the
project him to be filling in?
It's tough because I would have automatically said number one line to add some thumping and some scoring to Celebrini and Smith, so that if anybody does try to mess with Mac or Will, he's the thumper right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Colin Graff up there. He just seems like he fits so nicely with them. It's almost like I want if Toffoli's ill, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, maybe you just have him fill in that spot for right now and let him rest.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it was okay. They say it was just illness. I don't know.
Well, and I know something that I've been, I've absolutely been beating the war drum that I want him to have more responsibility. But is it finally time to start calling up the third line as our second line?
You did mention that in our Discord tonight. It's a nice problem to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because then you could even just slot him in on the second line, leave Graff on there, and protect Misa with Sherwood, and have him be on a second line with probably Eklund. So it'd be an Eklund, Sherwood, Misa.
yeah, and that yeah, that can work. I can totally see that.
A lot of questions, and we will probably have to wait a few days to get our answers.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Kind of looking at it a little bit. And I'm looking at Askarov and what he saw in the Hyman OT winner. He said nothing, seriously nothing. And looking at the replay and the quote tweet that Max Miller just put it in, but watching it back, Hyman definitely shoves Liljegren and it
Yeah,
kind of pushes it right into Askarov, which
I don't think they were ever going to call that.
no,
It,
I don't think so either. But it did, as Max saying on the tweet, reminds me of the Red Wings win over the Hurricanes, where Kopp scored the winner. It wasn't called then; it wasn't called here
Mhm.
either. So
Yeah, that was just kind of a thing of he lost his footing in a body battle. He initiates the contact, and I do remember watching that. He initiates contact, but he stumbles after a shove from Hyman and makes contact with Askarov. And I mean, we don't even know if the contact was necessarily what let that go in, but it certainly didn't help.
right. Do you
Uh,
know? Do you know who the leading goal scorer in the NHL is since December 11th?
Goal scorer specifically,
Goal scorer
um,
specifically.
uh, might be Bouchard.
No, Zach
No,
Hyman.
it is Hyman.
Hyman, 20 goals, 10 assists, 30 points. But here's the thing. Right behind him, 25 games played since December 11th for Connor McDavid, 18 goals, 32 points, or 32 assists, 50 points. That's just ridiculous. I mean, wow.
I didn't realize that Hyman had been red hot.
Yeah,
Because yeah, he's
neither
only
did I.
got
But
22 goals, and you're saying 20 of them
I mean, he
came
was
from.
out early on, but yeah, 20 of them.
My
I'll,
God,
I'll shout out Jesse Blake from SDPN on that one. So,
my God.
yeah. Like, what the heck? Oh my God.
Yeah, but again, prolific goal scoring from Edmonton.
Yeah.
We needed to stop playing in our zone, and that's how you would have won that game.
Yeah. So again, the Sharks lose 4-3 in overtime. They do pick up a point, so they are now at 58 points on the campaign. If things hold right now, they'll jump to, well, they currently are going to be in the number 2 spot because Utah is at 60. So they'll hold at 58. Well, actually, I'll take that back. If Seattle gets a point,
We might
they'll
drop
be
a
at
position.
58 as well. But the Sharks still have a game in hand, so they should hold down that spot. But
Okay.
if Seattle does win, then the Kraken will leapfrog LA and San Jose in the last playoff spot. So getting interesting again, my friend.
It is.
Yep.
And I'm sure we're going to have a lot. No longer are we talking about the Tankathon. Soon we're going to have to bring up like the projected playoff bracket.
Oh. Yes. I should mention a couple of things before we get out of here. There is a great expo show that we're going to be at. A lot of us, AJ, Jules, myself, will be at the the 2026 San Jose Hockey Jersey and Sports Collectors Expo. That'll be on Saturday from 8 to 1 at Tech C Arena. That'll be on the concourse of Tech C Arena. Free admission, everybody's welcome to join. Game worn hockey jerseys and hockey collectibles will be on sale for trade and display. Uh, so if you want more, you can look at the link there. But it's always a good time. Always to at let's be honest here. Always nice to window shop because the collectibles can be a little pricey, but there's definitely everything out there. So with that, we will start wrapping things up. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts. The audio version, apologies for the audio tonight, will be up in just a jiffy. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much for doing that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Uh, Definitely, now that we've hit over 4K on the YouTube subscribers, we're on our way to 5K. So tell all your friends, as this is going to be great, a great stretch no matter what happens. My dude, 30 games to go, and the Sharks are right in the thick of it, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. I know people are bringing up historical average for the NHL playoffs. However, I will say that I've looked it up. There are teams that have made it with 87 points to the
Oh,
playoffs. So don't be too worried. This is a very, very close playoff race. So expect there to be a lower average for the teams making it in.
yeah. Yeah. No, I completely concur. So that'll do it for us. We'll be back with you Saturday. It might be me and Jules from Stanley's, just because of where we're at with people available for the show. So,
Oh, we love Stanley's.
oh, I wish they had the poutine though. All right, that's it. I'm hungry, couldn't you tell? All right, so we'll be back with you on Saturday. Sharks Flames 1 o'clock. They'll be on with us from there. We'll be at the Game Worn Hockey Expo. It'll be a lot of fun before the CUDA game at 6 p.m. CUDA have a Friday, Saturday back to back. It'll be a fun one. So until then, your final thoughts, Tyler.
Oh, I mean, not too much to say outside of the Sharks are still well on their way to blow any and all expectations out of the water. Um, I mean, I think I saw that we were on pace for 91. I think I had the highest prediction at 82 points. So I ain't mad,
No,
just
no,
disappointed.
no. You're
Heard
kind of
that from
playing.
my parents before.
Oh, come on, bud. Oh, jeez. All right, we'll be back with you on Saturday following Sharks and Flames. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us, and until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Over under on Boston kids being at the Super Bowl. 6 or 7. Have a good night, everyone.
Which was worse.